never knew it was my calling to fall in. I'm sitting here bawling, cause morning feels like the morning. Sunlight scorching, born to distortion. Years we lose to the tide, conforming. Self-thought all that was naught but a portion. Now I'm being cornered cause you feel awkward. Torn from the water, you flop like a fish. Swim in the drip like that. Yeah, that's it when I feel like that. Yeah, I get asked why I look like that. Who I think I am that I look like that? Must be unstable to look like that. Shit, you can call it sus, I'm just fishy like that. Been around my scales cause I'm pretty like that. Wear what I want cause I drip like that. Confident king and a rep like that. Fam, it ain't about you, so just take a step back. Missing you befits the myth of Sisyphus. The kiss of your will-o-wisp lips lifts me to the forest. Without your wit I feel listless, impoverished. I'm lost in the distance, split between hill and stone. I don't condone the role of the boulder though. In the dark I would hold you close. No spark when to guide me slow. Wild hope to ignite this sinister moment.
A whisper of smoke. For smoke is a flame that's cold. A ghost of that which used to glow. And a light to guide the path.
Decisive eyes defined by will, I wait as well, my patience wilts. Encased in thrill, I chase the giddy flames. Unbeknownst, they burn my home and burn my name. A belabored inferno, a love untamed. Repeat the fates, never shall meet the twain.
You feeling sultry, bass, bulky. It was so mucky in the cave where you loved me. Left me feeling heavy, breath steady. Steamy in the strobe glow, leaning back in reverie. Woke up with the dreamers, gold, beamer. Henny in the glass, hairy dog make me cleaner. Can of my esophagus, softly screamer. Burning off the mask, but I felt like a behemoth. Esophagus, softly screamer. Burning off the mask.
Good morning everybody, it's an early morning, 5:30 AM. Spectre 104 is now bringing you 23.5 straight hours of poetry, almost all day, almost every day. I'm your host, Samir Saunders, and up next is a poem called Radio. Check it out. Everything turned to radio static. Too much noise to discern pain from panic, from survivor's guilt. My rectangle candle flickers. Every pulse is another victim. The explosion, the famine, the murders, the plague, it's been over 6 months. It feels like the early morning still, only the dawn's still. In 1967, a woman dies. The child has become the blade. He raids the hospital where she is treated. Explains that his kind are not pure bloods. Strips the others of their authority. An archive tortures him, the blood of a daywalker. Blade injects himself with what happened. Discovers that it would take years of treating it. When Blade returns, he arms himself with his still alive mother, who reveals that she came back devoured, transformed into a decomposing sharp bone. Blade is drained of his blood, but confronts his body. To help Blade cure himself, he asks her to create a new crusade. Rats on a wire, chew through fire. Love like a drug test rodent, running in a circle, poison a potion, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Cage of a drug test rodent, running in a cipher, only the motions, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Die like a drug test rodent, running through a spectre, whisper of a ghost, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Run game like a drug test rodent, love like a circle, built like a close one, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Burn like a drug test rodent, feed for the next hit, anything goes then, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Mouth full of smoke and tasteless, running in a cipher, everything abrasive, yo, but rats on a wire. Chew through fire. Live like a drug test rodent, close like a steel door creaks when it opens, yo, but rats on a wire. I don't fancy getting up today. The blinds rose, but my limbs felt stuck today. I want to disappear here, stay tucked away. I had plans, but I'm shit out of luck, okay? The cusp of day was thick, warm, mustard sharp. The weekend air was clean and weakened heartstrings to gleam with melodies of fruit and wine, and fanciful nostalgia for carefree summertime. The best moments are brief, the best lows low-key, your best words with the breeze, your best verse was a free. You kiss morning with peace, you kiss evening relief, but every day that you breathe, it's just a blessing to be here. I think I grind my teeth too much. I think I bite my tongue too much. If the eyes are the windows of the soul, then the mouth is a floodgate. All I gotta do is say what I want, be assertive. Instead I flirt with a death face, death mask worn over me. Cast out judgment, cast out rejection, cast out function, cast out blessing. I play dead like an opossum, speak no evil, shed no blossom, grow no garden, bear no fruit. Silence favors power. These pearls are more than a barrier. They pierce and rend and tear and speak. They are my weapons when I'm weak. Thrown to the side with the force of the moon, throwing waves to the tide. It's the grave of the mind. When water collides, it is lost to the beach. Equally, sand has been lost to the sea. Thrown to the side with the force of the moon, throwing waves to the tide. It's the grave of the mind. When water collides, it is lost to the beach. Equally, sand has been lost to the sea. I was gone with the breeze in a dream, fade with the old pain, unseen. Ear to the shell, I call my hermit home. Lost in the crowd is the worst alone. I was thrown in the crash, so I carved out stone. I need every shard I hold. If I go, my ideas decay to smaller isotopes. Every scorched collision takes a new brick out of Jericho. Vitriol, poison kept us lucid as we try to flow. Misanthrope, let go of control, don't let kindness go. So inside this liquid loves to glitter as if shiny gold. Try to grasp its edges but was swallowed deep inside the cold. Memories preserved forever, floating like a violent joke. But the survivors paddle forwards in defiant hope. Fuck the world if it's gotta go. No, little moments hold defiant hope. Fuck the lie that the future is impossible. We gon' build it here. Are your eyes red staring at the sun? Better throw some shades on when I roll up. Lightning on my tongue. I can spit pepper if I want. I can get it cooking from the jump. I can make it bump. Your shit ain't even really bop. Listen to my cayenne, watch a bell drop. What's up on the hips if you ain't gonna hop? What's up on the lines of a verse? Don't joke me real deep. Still sleep deep for wave makers. Soul food and mech nutrition have flavor, yeah. Sauce with a chaser, sugar with umami. Spread of array with the focus of a laser. Gravy, amen, give it to me thick. Licking on my lips and my fingertips. I'm in it for the grease and the grit. Miss me wide with your squeaky clean shit. Pitch perfect, quantized and rehearsed. I prefer a glitch, voice cracks in the dirt. Ain't there something so sublime in the grotesque? Oh yes.
It was the afternoon when you knew. It was the afternoon when you knew. It was the afternoon when you knew. It was the afternoon when you knew.
Slippery, everything's slippery. You don't really trip at me anymore. Love is a grotesque rose and a potent explosion, a symphony to adore. So much of the culture is focused on romance, but friendship and family just as important. It feels so awkward to love with a whole chest. The words slipped out of your mouth and I protested. I ingested the sensitive sentences swiftly. Swung a left hook of an eye roll, irony. Smiling quietly, shyly. Affection is slippery, but it hit differently. Every situation's demanded a different thing from me. Ain't no consistency, ain't no symmetry, ain't no forward momentum. Love ain't linear. Even love similarly felt as expressed in a different love language. The body's a polyglot, belly getting soggy hard, naming of the soft gestures. I'm best to confess the dent that's left from my trauma. When you're here, you make me feel warmer. Your eyes are like the eye of my storm, where the winds are calm and I can reform. I hate that I haven't learned a way to express this. Everything's slippery, everything's temporary, everything shifts from a different perspective. The stillness with you is a gift that I cherish. It's a gift that I cherish. It's a gift that I cherish. Good afternoon, Spectre 104 bringing you those latest sand dune facts. Fact 1. What even is a sand dune? A sand dune is a large mass of loose sand which has been displaced by the movement of a fluid, typically wind or water. Fact number 2. For almost all sand, we are a people of sand. Our bodies land in great crescent heaps against the wind.
desert sand
We
dunes
migrate
have-
and shapeshift like a slow, dry ocean. Our banshee whispers taste like the first rain of spring, like the same cold that drowned summer. In the desert, the new dead and the ancient dead are all the same.
Pretense is embargoed, it won't box me up like cargo. I seek freedom within honesty and honestly. Well, y'all know I've been on and off, sick on leave. Even when my shadow seems receding, heavy breathing claims a sleeper. Woven arteries are kneeling. I dress my arm in armor. I am reflected in the steel. The shell is hyper-real. Every indentation, indication of the skeleton that made this. It's so outrageous to think that we can hide behind our handiwork. Our hands are behind our handiwork. Hands tell more than a voice does. How and what we touch and reflexes our choices.
If this gon' be my last outpost, then let me say something soppy. You can't even sentence it properly. I spill no cap like a bottle that's topless, sloppy and mossy. My ditch was dug with them bottle tops that I posted my posse. I smoke an opium poppy. Out here no Jakes and no Bobbies. Nobody's here, no one saw me. If they were, it's too foggy. Doomsday dart off in jalopy. That's an old car looking shorty. What's at me? His floppy disk, so I'm picturing sloppy, toppy and doggy. I'm rambling nonsense, no wonder stop me. It's dark and it's soggy. My body's desperate for coffee. I'm snotty and I'm so groggy. My rifle heavy and hard, holding it steady, no problem, ready for enemy shot. fell in deep with the reaper while I was sleeping. I know that I can't get feeling, but fucking I got a dream, so I'm ducking every conceivable fatal interpretation. I know it's that I've been smiling, I'm feeling, so I'ma take it. God damn, big dog feel good today. Like a sunbeam shines in the woods today. Like a marigold grows in the hood today. Like I ain't being misunderstood today. Man, I wish that you would today. Car any other day I would take the pain. Not today though, I'm too busy with these scissor feet cutting shapes. And my hips stay rocking, moves done cleared up my sacral chakra. Skin bare soft cause I drank bare aqua. Skin so smooth and brown like a mocha. Self-esteem in the clouds like a rocket. Icy hot like a burned up comet. Arcane drip like a broomstick parker. Fresh to death like mint in a coffin. I don't care where the feeling came from. Sourceless joy can never be taken. Existence is self-worth exaltation. So rapturous, even time can't fade it.
After the storm has passed, I still feel all this emotion. After the love has gone, I still feel all this devotion lingering. After the joy has faded, I still sit smiling in a field of daisies. My clothes are wet from the rain. My eyes are red from the overwhelming, 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 overwhelming.
Get me out of this graveyard. Get me out of this casket. Get me out of this coffin. Get me out of this trap. Get me out of this graveyard. Get me out of this casket.
It's a law of distortion, it's lawless. We reign cause it's autumn, it's late afternoon, so we came to exude cool rage from our torsos. We are the two horsemen, our faces are Rorschach pages for you to project your thoughts on. Readers with caution, redistribution of state held force. No love at our basis for stasis is dormant, and all alteration is deemed unnormal. You form force those of the corset caution, caused by a hurricane, a doubt mouth gaping.
Out with the sapien!
Pride, mother nature, neck breaking, patience, our erasure, a plague from the ice door came back, haunting the children, the daughters, the sons of the water. A war-torn wasteland is slaughtered and gored by the horns of the scornful mourners. Yeah. You awake, huh? You awake? Yo, it's a spoken word, Tesseract speaking, I'm wavy, I ain't even moved Cartesian. I'm a king, don't bar me, it's treason. I'm a vet with these dogs, I will treat them. I'm a mattress of knives, don't sleep on. I am cook-up rice and well seasoned. I am sexy beyond all reason. When I flex, man them start kneeling. One fist in the air, fuck ceilings. I'm a rage in the flames of machines, and I won't go gently into the evening. Cause the first step of fighting is breathing. I'm a glitch in the system scheming. Even in pieces, I keep my crown cohesive, because when we throw our own thorns to the fire of deletion, that's how our minds stay colonized. Coral reef, coral reef, coral reef, coral reef, rainforest, 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 ice caps, ice caps, ice caps, ice caps, ozone, 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 the fucking sky, man. How did we do that? Seriously though, like we're a bunch of tiny mammals and we punched a hole in Zeus, Thor, Shango, Denka, Izanagi, Jupiter. This is beyond hubris. How did we even do this? How do we undo this? Like for real, I mean shit. Shit. Is this the evening? Is this the evening? Is this the evening? Is this the evening? She was asleep in her bed. She was killed in her home. She was killed in her bed, whilst asleep in her home. She was killed in her sleep, in her bed, in her home. She was killed where she slept, while at home in her bed. What the fuck have we even got left to lose? How are yous not terrified too? No racist police, no justice, no peace, no racist police, no justice, no peace, no racist police, no justice, no peace. A butterfly caught up in a paper prison, flapping its wings, can make a hurricane still. I feel sometimes that I am only alive inside the kitchen. I could be your sous chef, like it was my religion. Make the food bless, get the pan sear sizzle. We show love with our wordless precision, and if there's anything I miss, it's these quiet moments of bliss. Last night I watched a youth get chefed. He was in the motherland, so the news said he had no name. In the empire's shadow, subconscious structures remain. A phantom limb can still feel pain. Good evening, Spectre 104. It's spooky season and the ancestors are teething. It is easier to dream up the end of the world than the end of our. My hunger lost in a wood so dark at the cusp of that form which calls itself the only true raven to break the midpoint. Stomach empty for paper, soft fruit of trees on which it does not grow. Old is the idiom, excuse, obstacle of path, paper for entropy, or else fall through the cracks between this pearly smiling life. Abandon hope, all you who seek that I accept this still point of the path I found. I mean, I can see something coming out of the bottle. When I was young, it was subtle, but it grew and it grew. Now you don't have to look far to see far. You don't have to look far to see far. MPC school kids and vote, don't feed them. See white privilege and outlaw teaching, and Black Lives Matter till they demand freedom. Now we demons, they say don't deep it. Trans peeps can't get their hormone treatment. Struck a new deal, but it scorns young people. The far right's creeping, sus laws creeping. Workers' rights teeter when the EU's year. It just goes on, I'm so depleted. It feels like my head wraps a tin for a sheet. I just wanna sleep in, I can't help deep it. I dig too deep and I won't break even. Don't need vice into silent speakers. You just need an algorithm trained on secrets. Was it even subtle before? Or was I just not looking? Was it even subtle before? Or was I just not looking? If the crown's too cracked, then the gang come, slaying every demon of the brain with their affirmations. Ain't the same without mates whose devotion is patient, to guide our ghosts from their self-erasure. So good evening to the girls and the goths and the gays and the gamers and the gremlins, my G's. Good evening to the insecure tofu enthusiasts, to the bisexual tucking their shirt in right now, to the 20-somethings who regret learning to drive, to the Naruto fans who actually like the Tsunade arc, to the single mother massaging her furrowed brow, to the non-smokers who astral project when they smell rain, to the researchers analyzing cobra venom, to the people with 5-syllable first names who refuse to shorten them, to those who stuck the landing, to the half-written essay that you submitted anyway, to bell peppers, to people leaving friendly post-it notes in the city center. May you be blessed in this night or the next. I held the curved emotion, felt summer in the burning ocean, fell behind a curtain sky of rose and made it look like a bow. I turned from crowd at my turn to open, clutched my eyes to hide from glances stolen by the night and the dancing potion pouring flighty feet like resin, sticky like accountability, like beliefs formed in childhood, like the side of the argument I started on before I self-conspired. Hide behind the words I put in your mouth like dishonest kissing, tongue darting for hidden Achilles tendon tension, and slipping.
Emerging from a strange body, the urgency and hunger of it, like striking a stone and discovering music. I miss the crudeness of it, harmonies dancing and carelessly meeting in air then fleeting. We used to touch each other like it didn't mean anything. I miss not thinking about bubbles. Fuck, I miss trouble. I miss dirty, sweaty bodies in a rave. We are into Capra wines. I miss Tekken Dagger. I miss the sensory overload saga. I miss dressing that by feeling swagger and having a Mazda. I miss moments thinking only of my own being, not being an incubator decaying in a larger machine.
Floating feather, severed tether, we remember this ain't heaven, but come together anyway. Need a center, need an anchor. Thankless task, abrasive tension, self-creation, righteous endeavor. Need patience, need purpose. Please remember that we are enough. I know it feels like you float through nothing. Please remember, you are enough. Eyes on the wrist, I'm rocking ice on the wrist. Still it isn't night when I flick. Are you clocking this? I ain't got the time on my wrist. Check lock screen if I want eyes on the stitch. I'm 500 kids. Feel an aesthetic on messy, irreverent drip or secondhand patchwork and or worn out. It's so weird that the style's co-chore now. Same tune, presume, consume. Commodity is no substitute for the human implied by a look or performance. Can I act not me if I'm me? Always I keep on living and holding and needing. And there's this crack in the hollow that's bleeding and yearning for something to say you are this. The abstract hunger's a fix. As artists we think we're outside of the system, yet don uniforms of self-expression. An entity constructed from relics of the craft. When I die I'll be remembered as that. My unfinished sketchbooks, unwritten raps, trousers with holes in shoes, paint splash. The aesthetic of artists that's acts. An attempt at self is conveyed through a brand. No one makes work of idle hands, so we place worth into idle brands. And if we make work, then despite our stance, the work makes us in the sleight of hand. And you can take a walk in my scuffed up Vans.
Wake up, 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 go back to sleep, go back to sleep, go back to sleep, go back to sleep, go back to...
In a way, getting there intellectually isn't getting there at all, because you don't stay there. You need to trust that you can go there and stay there, using both empathy and intellect. You need to have faith that you can do this. It will take some time to develop the self-empathy. You can do this because you are compassionate. You're a compassionate person. You have an internal sense of compassion, and that isn't rational. It's there because of empathy. Also, in a way, empathy and rationality aren't separate. They are unified, and you have to approach compassion as a holistic approach.
Go
Those men came to the salt's end, clothes and the bones, then claimed they were chosen. Ransacked our homes and our water frozen. Death toll of fortune, young jaws contorting. Diamond devotion, ribcage eroding. Bodies like decimals conquered the quotient. Bodies are broken, surplus for breaking. Even the ocean could not escape it. Blood on the totem, nail marks the earth from where we were dragged, or where we gave birth, or where we returned and relived the hurt. Sail out to sea and shut out the world. Should have been buried in wine, when ominous wind sang beautiful chimes.
Good evening, you're listening to Spectre 104, the only radio station bringing you the voices of the dead straight to your head. Almost all day, almost every day. Once again, I am your humble host, Samir Saunders. We've had a wonderful selection of deceased poets this month, haven't we? Sadly, all things must come to an end, as we know too well. So please welcome to the astral plane our final poet of the evening, Sisyphus of Ephyra, with a canto from their latest epic, Crawl. This poem is about Ephyra. Well, I'll let them tell you for themselves.
This poem is about, well, we've had a wonderful selection. We've had a wonderful selection.
I
I am known only by torment, aren't I? Oh, how a human with their many charms, their gathered dust, their gauded half-lives, the forms they may have held, all soon disarmed by a blade of tongue sweet as fennel grass, namesake to the great Marathon of old. Indeed, though, even her battle-scarred past is disarmed in memory, her name sold against the lighthouse of sight she grants through the lips with her soft ochre petals, which could not see through common use at a glance, to witness her not as race, but fennel. Yes, I am King Sisyphus of Ephyra. I am known to most as victim of the gods, one of countless though, and disappearing to time, were it not for the unique odds placed against my undying cursed flame. For eternity, this hill do I tame, only for it to defeat me again.
Tired of the crawl, the pain of being born. Asunder cuts my eyelids until they no longer fall. The light's an accusation, the glare is but a taunt. I turn away from heaven to prepare myself for war. I roar to reanimate my corpse. I ooze out of the oil drum and spill upon the shore. And finally assured, it's the cyclone of a fate. I decided my rebellion was all that I had claimed. I ran away.
The muses, the spinners of tapestry, the lyricists, their lyres and their lies, sought all of existence with majesty, as if it were one story on one line. Fuck their continuum. My spring was dry, perhaps a petty insecurity, but the audacity to name this pride in the face of Zeus's debauchery? Truly uncanny, as the valley from which the eagle-cocked Olympian swooped in to find the nymph Aegina in love's grip, as he would put it, he prick who spits crude wind. Aesopus, Aegina's father and god of the river Asopus, came to me, begging sight to where his daughter was robbed. I suppose Zeus willed me to lay deceit to this grieving father, not barter with her whereabouts in return for a fresh spring to sprout from Ephyra's acropolis. Her safety, my pride. Fair, don't you think? Well, for this sin, I was condemned to die. Zeus sent his black-winged agent Thanatos to drag me screaming to the afterlife. I said, "Burn that noise," and I scampered off, left the death god imprisoned in my keep. Death no more, Ares pouted, war's boring. Charon now rode alone, Hades did weep. I, descendant of Prometheus, yawning, knew that immortality was fleeting. Ares freed Thanatos, I was murdered, and they still did not match my pace or my scheming. The lengths we go to for one more day, unheard of. The gods, on us, they are truly sleeping. On us, they are
Tired
truly
of the
sleeping.
crawl, the pain of being born. Asunder cuts my eyelids until they no longer fall. The light's an accusation, the glare is but a taunt. I turn away from heaven to prepare myself for war. I roar to reanimate my corpse. I ooze out of the oil drum and spill upon the shore. And finally assured, it's the cyclone of a fate. I decided my rebellion was all that I had claimed. I ran away.
In the underworld I had a plan. 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 In the underworld. Before I had died, I had asked my wife Merope to desecrate my corpse should Thanatos take me, by tossing it into the spring that Aesopus had gifted. And so, when I arrived before the kind goddess of the dead, Persephone, I pleaded, the king deserves a proper burial. Persephone conceded, return to the world of the living for 3 sunsets only. Make sure you receive the proper funeral rites, then come back to meet your punishment. I awoke again in my body, kissed my wife, and fled. For 83 years I evaded the gods. When I was found once more by Thanatos, I greeted him like an old friend. The Olympians cursed me to existential agony, to drown in meaningless repetitive labor, to be barbed by the thorns of insanity, blistered feet and parched mouth. Not only skin is flayed by heat, but also one's sense of purpose. They trapped me in a system built to make me feel worthless. When I push this boulder, it is the weight of my own soul. My yearning for self is my burden. The war in my chest, it is old. But if you asked me now, after thousands of epochs, watching empires die as I persist, would I return to the past and no longer defy the gods, so to avoid this cruel damnation? Absolutely not.
I fought to hold every breath with the living, and I would not exchange them.
My pain is ceaseless. I smile undefeated. My pain is ceaseless. I smile undefeated. My pain is ceaseless.
Yeah. The statuesque Corinthian king enrapturing Camus and Kafka is casually gnashing their cataclysmic catastrophe. Suffering doesn't atrophy, it only gets nastier. So-called mastery of our inadequacy is an inaccurate anachronism from powerful, palace-dwelling, pedestal-promoting piranhas of platitude. I propose anarchy, to rebel every moment with radical happiness. In mere words, this is no less platitudinous, perhaps, but the strength of this mantra comes through action. Don't half-ass your courageous silliness, plunge both butt cheeks in absurdity, rejecting rigidity as platypus taxonomy does naturally. Live voraciously, lap up every second you can, for even your sadness and tragedy are yours alone. Lay claim to them. Do not fear consequence, embrace it, change it. There is no such thing as failure until you assign it to yourself. Be passionate, be honest, honor your health. The experience of being is itself alienation. We are defined by what we are not, and today our tribes are projected through a prism of digital immortality. No succinct statement could ever communicate truth. Like a sandcastle, the mere air erases it. So we fight for a future we will never see, because we live in a world that was fought for, and we love intimate beings we could never truly know, because we know we are loved by strangers. And if we are indeed doomed to misery, let it be a misery on our terms. That's the end of the show, folks. We thank you for tuning in to Spectre 104. Now go, live, wash your hands, drink water, eat a pear. Until next time, until it is the first time again, I've been your host, Samir Saunders. May all spirits bless you. May all the ancestors bless you. May your life bless you.